एंड आप जो पोजीशंस की बात कर रहे थे कि लाइक दोज हु आर लॉन्ग ऑन पुट्स, आई डोंट think they have exited as of now, because if you plot, like if you look at the cumulative like anchor भी आप अगर लगा के देखोगे ना, तो थोड़ा सा करेक्शन, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, स्मॉल करेक्शन कैन कम इन पुट्स एंड अगेन इट विल बी अ बाइंग अपॉर्चुनिटी ओनली ऑन पुट्स स्पेसिफिक, राइट? तो मुझे नहीं लगता अभी कोई एग्जिट हुआ है।
May I add something?
Sure, of course.
Actually, today what I have observed that in Nifty, only like four or five like big RL, this HDFC banks and Reliance, they are making Nifty down. But in the broader market, I have not seen such fall in stock specific. And one more thing, like from the last 4 days, I have seen HDFC was used to keep the Nifty at uh, above some certain level. But today, what happened? HDFC has fallen down. That's why Bank Nifty in the initial at 969 after opening the market, there was a sudden fall in Bank Nifty's, and then again for the whole day it was a range bound. And one more thing I have observed in Polycab, something unusual is happening in Polycab. If anybody have observed Polycab, actually I'm in short, but I want to know, like, if anybody have sorted out some unusual movement in Polycab, please.
See, one thing I'll tell you, the reason why Bank Nifty saw a much more stronger down move compared to Nifty is because, as I was explaining some time back, more longs were built up in Bank Nifty compared to Nifty from last week. And if there are more longs that are built, the more longs would look to get out of the gate, rush towards the exit, which was the primary reason why we saw a stronger unwinding and a deeper cut in Bank Nifty in the opening 15 minutes compared to Nifty.
And have you observed Polycab as well? Like, if
No,
anybody
I don't track stocks specifically.
Can you tell what time frame you're tracking on Polycab? I mean, that would be easier.
It's, if you observe in 5 minutes, it was like not vertical fall, but it was something unusual. Like I can't describe it, but something unusual. I don't know. Like,
No, I mean, it looks fine only. Yeah, I mean, it was a trending day there, but yeah, I mean, it looks fine. ऐसे आते हैं ऐसे move. Like, I didn't get the context for unusual. Like, you'll see such kind of moves.
like what I say, like in every 1 minute, like some unusual volumes keep coming, and it was selling down.
Okay.
So that's it's kind of like for me it's an unusual. I don't know, like, but yeah, it was
Right, आपने live बनते हुए देखा होगा ना? That I get that point. Just a minute. Yeah, I mean, this looks good. Again, Polycab में भी same चीज है. मैं options देख रहा था इसके. They are also ready for a mean reversion. तो of course, अगर Polycab if it is breaking today's low, so it will continue this move. ऐसा ही एक और कैंडल बन जाएगा वहाँ पे. Because कोई डिमांड है नहीं अभी आस पास काफी दूर तक. ये अगर टूटता है ना आज का लो, तो फिर है मतलब another 100 point fall can be seen.
Thank you.
We have Priyansh and we have Hitesh. I think the last two requests that I got. Priyansh, please go ahead with your question. In the meanwhile, Hitesh can go ahead with his question. Hitesh, please go ahead.
हाय, मैं फिर से आ गया. आज मैं एक चीज बहुत स्ट्रेंज नोटिस किया। आप लोग यहाँ पे बहुत सारा एक्सपीरियंस ट्रेडर होंगे, आप लोग नोटिस किया कि नहीं वो मालूम नहीं, लेकिन एक चीज ये है कि वो मेरे दिमाग में घूम रहा था, वो मेरे को आंसर नहीं मिल रहा था। ये जो आज 40,400 पीई का जो ये स्ट्राइक था ना, वो स्ट्राइक में क्या हो रहा था कि वो मैं पोजीशंस में था, उसके बाद मार्केट रिवर्स होके ऊपर जा रहा था, मैं लॉन्ग पोजीशन पे था, पीई लॉन्ग पोजीशन बाय द वे। तो वो ऊपर जा रहा था, लेकिन मेरा मेरा प्रीमियम भी एक मतलब ऊपर जा रहा था, लाइक इट वाज 270, और वो मार्केट लगभग 50 पॉइंट्स अप जा रहा था, लेकिन मेरा प्रीमियम जस्ट ₹2 मतलब 270 से 268 तक आया। वो ऐसा क्यों हुआ? मतलब वो 60-70 पॉइंट्स अप चला गया था। आप लोग को मालूम है क्या वो क्यों हुआ? और मतलब वो बहुत स्ट्रेंज लगा मेरे को। और बाद में वो जब
वो
थोड़ा
वीक्स
नीचे
डाउन
आया,
हुआ था,
और
वीक्स डाउन हुआ था उसमें।
नहीं, वो तो मैं विक्स भी ट्रैक कर रहा था। फिर वो विक्स भी ऐसा नहीं था कि वो अप चला गया था, वो फ्लैट ही था लगभग। आई डोंट नो वो वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा था। लगभग वो 12:35 कैंडल से लेके लाइक 13 मतलब 1 बजे तक ये जो अप मूव था ना, वो अप मूव में प्रीमियम भी बढ़ रहा था, मतलब पुट का, लाइक वो अप जा रहा था, पुट का प्रीमियम भी अप जा रहा था, 270, 274, 275 ऐसे जा रहा था। तो आई वॉज लाइक वेरी शॉक्ड। वो आप लोग को ये आंसर हो तो प्लीज बताइएगा, क्योंकि वो मेरे को मतलब वो आंसर मेरे को मिलना है, मतलब प्लीज।
आप जो बोल रहे हो दैट वुड हैव हैपेंड फॉर अ वेरी शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन, राइट? ऐसा कंटिन्यूअस तो नहीं हो रहा था, क्योंकि अगर आप वो आधे घंटे का टाइम देखो तो आई बिलीव उस वक्त कितना 0.5 डेल्टा चल रहा हो, 0.4 के आसपास चल रहा होगा
पॉइंट
शायद।
फोर पॉइंट
तो इट हैज मूव 0.4, राइट? तो 0.4 के आसपास रहा होगा, तो इट हैज मूव जितना उसको करना चाहिए था। अगर नेट टू नेट देखो ना, तो जितना मूव होना चाहिए था किया है। बट आप जो फिनोमेना बोल रहे हो आपने देखा होगा लाइव मार्केट में बनते हुए, वो ₹2 ₹4 ऊपर जा रहा होगा।
हाँ।
बट क्योंकि एक सेकंड, फ्यूचर्स पे तो मैं जो देख रहा हूँ ना, जस्ट अ मिनट, लुक्स फाइन। कभी कभी होती हैं चीजें ऐसी, डिपेंडिंग कितने ऑर्डर कोई एग्जिट कर रहा है, आप क्या कर रहे हैं, कैन हैपन। आपको 5 मिनट 10 मिनट दिखा होगा ऐसा, बिकॉज उसके बाद तो गिर गया था ठीक
हाँ,
से।
वो तो लगभग 10 to 12 मिनट्स 15 मिनट्स ऐसा था। उसके बाद में एग्जिट हो गया था पोजीशन से। फिर वो बाद में जब नीचे आया, फिर से मैं वो पी पोजीशन लिया। आज मतलब सारा दिन में 4400 पी में ही खेला, क्योंकि वहाँ पे कुछ ये डीके वगैरह इतना नहीं हो रहा था, तो वो सही था आज।
अभी मेरे को इस पे भी मीन रिवर्जन सा ही दिख रहा है। लाइक बेसिकली ये जो पुट स्पेसिफिक है ना, ये एक सप्लाई एरिया पे खड़ा है। आप इसका अर्ली चार्ट देखोगे ना पुट का, तो वो एक सप्लाई एरिया पे खड़ा है, और उसने एक बेकार सा ब्रेकआउट दिखा के लोगों को ट्रैप भी करा हुआ है, अगर कोई लेट शॉर्ट किया होगा तो आई बिलीव ये पुट भी करेक्ट हो सकता है थोड़ा, फिर मे बी कुछ बाइंग बने तो देखी जाएगी। बट आई मीन थोड़ा सा मेरे को एक छोटा सा रिवर्सल तो दिखता है यहाँ से मार्केट में।
ओके, ये मतलब ये ऐसा तो नहीं होना था ना, मतलब लाइक यूजुअल अगर होता तो ऐसा तो नहीं बिहेव नहीं करते ना सर?
नहीं, होता है। आप एक्सपायरी के दिन कभी ध्यान से ट्रैक करोगे ना, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स इन ऑप्शन प्रीमियम जो दिख रही होती हैं। इट्स ब्यूटीफुल। मतलब मैं कैसे बताऊं, मेरे को कल जब मैं शॉर्ट कर रहा था, तो लाइक एक चीज होती है, आप अगर 17500 कॉल ट्रैक करोगे ना ध्यान से, तो आई वाज शॉर्ट ऑन 17500 कॉल एक्सपायरी के जस्ट बाद, मतलब 325 के आसपास मैंने शॉर्ट करा था। तो इफ यू लुक एट दैट ऑप्शन केयरफुली, एक सेकंड कहाँ गया वो, रुको, उस पे एक स्विंग लो लगा था। आई थिंक कहाँ गया वो चीज, दिख नहीं रहा। यूजुअली ये लोग क्या करते हैं ना, अगर बीटीएसटी पे इन्हें कोई बहुत बड़ा मूव लाना होता है, वो आपको एंट्री नहीं देंगे। तो मैंने ये चीज काफी बार ट्रैक करी है। आई हैड एन इशू विथ, मतलब ऐसे जो दिन होते हैं ना जो नीचे जा रहे होते हैं, स्लो एंड स्टेडी डाउन मूव, मुझे वो ट्रेड करने में काफी इशू आता था। कुछ दिन मतलब अभी पिछले 2 महीने में 3-4 बार हुआ था, एंड आई मिस्ड ऑल ऑफ देम। तो आई रियलाइज कि कैसे होता है. These moves are like, अगर आपने शॉर्ट नहीं किया ना BTST, तो इंट्राडे ट्रेड लेने में ना कई बार प्रॉब्लम होती है. रीजन इज आपने बहुत अच्छे प्रीमियम देख लिए होते हैं ऑलरेडी कि यहाँ शॉर्ट कर सकता था, फिर वो खुलता बहुत नीचे है. नो डाउट दैट विल बी अ गुड शॉट. तो जैसे KT ऑल्सो शॉर्टेड टुडे अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग ना, अगर आप सुबह उस टाइम पे शॉर्ट नहीं किए, आप भूल जाओ 9:30 तक घुस सकते हो, नहीं होने वाला वो खत्म हो जाएगा ऑलरेडी, राइट? तो दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स.
ओके, थैंक यू.
एंड नॉर्मली टू ऐड ऑन, जो भी ATR ट्रैक करते हैं मार्केट में of the indices, let us say the ATR of a particular index is 200 points and example, and अगर आपको ओपनिंग 15-30 मिनट में ही एक 300 या 400 पॉइंट मूव देखने को मिलता है, बेसिकली 1 ATR और 1.5 ATR, then is it a wise idea to expect a continued move right from that moment itself? Anand bhai, your views on this? At least personally, I don't. There could be that one day out of so many days where you get that move, but उस एक दिन के चक्कर में most of the times a trader will screw themselves.
Well, I didn't get the question. What was the question?
So basically, you have the ATR of a particular instrument. Say it's 200 points. The daily range is 200.
Which
points.
time frame?
On daily time frame, the range is 200 points.
Okay.
And अगले दिन ओपन पे ही आपको 15 मिनट या 30 मिनट में या एक घंटे में आपको 300 पॉइंट मूव देखने को मिलता है या 400 पॉइंट मूव देखने को मिलता है. Is it really a wise idea that someone can expect a continued move in the same direction when market जो एक पूरा दिन में मूव करता था वो एक घंटे में ही मूव कर लिया? I'm saying once out of 100 times or many times it will happen. But उसके चक्कर में trader will screw themselves, especially shorter time frame traders or day traders will screw themselves every time that happens.
किसके पास?
मुझे लगा हुआ दो जगह.
किसके?
मम्मी पे. हाँ, so I have a very unconventional answer, and generally I have stopped sharing it on social media because I will get trolled a lot for these kind of answers. The answer is it depends. Okay. It depends on so many variables, but today we have one live example. So I will tell you my thought process, how it acted today. Okay, this will not apply in other situations, and people will go ahead and backtest on 2000 occasions or 200 occasions, and they will say it doesn't work 50% of the time. So what I considered today, okay, or rather yesterday, okay, I was short since yesterday. And the reason was, see, those who are selling options overnight, or those who are selling options intraday as well, they would know that option premiums have been terribly low. I have been trading actively options since 2016, and I don't remember seeing such low premiums very often. So expiry day opening was, I think, 240 rupees or 250 rupees, or maybe less than that. I'm talking about straddle. Okay. So, hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So when option premium is so less, 240 rupees, that means on either side 120 rupees. Okay. So if there is someone who is buying in straddle, and if market moves by more than 0.5% on Bank Nifty, which is 200 points, right? The value of the straddle will be more than the buy price, more than the 240 rupees, right? So, and second thing which somebody would, since the Russia-Ukraine war started, for whatever reason, not only in India, all across the world, option prices are terribly depressed. Okay, very low. And overnight options, I don't remember when we saw 1% gap up or gap down comfortably in last 6 months. Not many occasions for sure, unless there is a very known event like a budget or something, right? So then it all depends how people are making money in the market. People are going overnight strangle or straddle short. Okay, I know a lot of people who are doing crores of rupees, 30 rupees, 50 rupees ka option sell kar diya ek din pehle. Okay, and I don't judge anybody. That strategy would have made money in last 1 year like anything. It would have worked like charm because there was no gap up, there was no gap down. I hope people are able to relate to what I'm saying. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. So what happens when, and this Dow future started tumbling on Friday itself. The news was out on Friday, EOD in US itself. That a big bank, this is not a small bank, is in deep trouble. Okay, it was down 60% on Friday. Okay, so the uh, entire news of Singapore Nifty being down some 90 points or 100 points, if I remember, around 1% or half a percent down, along with rest of Asia, it was event driven. It was news driven. Okay, it was not on the technical chart. It was going to take everybody on surprise, especially someone who had sold, who was habitual to sell 30 rupees ka put option every every day. It would have taken everybody for surprise. Okay, what will be the first? And I'm talking about seasoned traders. I'm not talking about newbies who are gambling with 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees. Seasoned traders who are doing with crores. What they will do? First thing, what they will do? They will cut their losses at the very open. So if they have sold a put option, which was giving regular very good money for the rest of the year since January, if they have sold 30 rupees ka put option, it opens at 100 rupees or 120 rupees. If he is a professional trader, if he is a successful trader, what will be the first punch he will do?
Exactly.
Today he would not have adjusted it. Today he would have squared it off. And to square it off, what he has to do? He has to buy put. Okay, the put which is trading opened at 90 rupees, he will buy at 120 rupees. By the time his order gets filled, a large order, it will be 130 already. That seals the fate for first 10 minutes of the market. Okay, that's why you saw a follow through in the beginning. Then people realize why and how things are happening, how big is the magnitude, how other markets are reacting, how technicals are supporting or not supporting, and then market starts forming a base. Okay, very rarely, even during Corona, at least initial panic we would have seen, market always tries to give a bounce back. How weak or strong that bounce back is gets verified by the fact how quickly we touch the low of the day. Okay, so it cannot be compared with any other situation, but today there was a real panic because we touched the low of the day very quickly. Okay, but there was a downward bias throughout the day. Then now again, today I don't have data for rest of the day, but today closing straddle was around 600 rupees. Imagine 300 rupees for a put, ATM put. Okay, that means people have still not accepted, realized, or understood the magnitude of the problem. And FTSE, FTSE, and rest of the Europe was down around 1 to 2%. So rest of the market was already red by the time it was 3 o'clock in India. The rest of the market were red. Dow future was mildly in the red, but because this bank's crisis was going to have a major impact on the Nasdaq. Okay, and as I'm saying, it's purely news driven. If today only the news comes that JP Morgan is going to give a lifeline or Fed is going to go for a bailout of this particular bank, which Fed has bailed out many banks in 2008, so it's not a rare event. Immediately, market will bounce back. So what I'm saying is, it's a news driven market. Okay, so how it will open on Monday, nobody knows. But when you are taking a bet, when you are deciding what to bet, the risk reward has to be on your favor. So if I have to sell a 30 rupees option or 100 rupees option or even an ATM put of 300 rupees, maximum I'll get by Thursday or 12 o'clock will be 200 rupees, even if market bounces exactly from here without any spike on the downside. But in overnight trade, I have a lot to lose, right? So, abhi kya hoga? And if you look at the data, all the professional option sellers, they would have sold put of various magnitudes. Some would have sold hedge, some would have decreased the quantity, some would have gone aggressively based on their reading of the chart and so on. But if on Monday you see 0.5% gap down, what will happen? It will be third day of red, and second day and third day both will be unexpected gap down, and no trader worth his salt will take a huge risk with unexpected gap down. So if a gap down happens on one day, and I'm not saying it sure will happen, because 2 days is enough for data to come in, for banks to act, and for big players in the market to position themselves in terms of arranging for margin and so on. But if 0.5% to 1% gap down happens in Bank Nifty, then in that case you will see very good follow through. I think people were talking about 340 or something. It will be taken out. That will position the entire market on the downside. We will see decent follow through. That's my analysis. It might not pan out every time, but as I said, such news doesn't come even once a year. It comes once in 2 years or once in 3 years, where a bank is down almost 90% in first day, 65%, today also 65%. So like my maths is not so good, but almost down 80-90%. A large bank having only deposits worth $50 billion. So bank as big as HDFC Bank. Okay, so such news driven event, it's always beneficial to put yourself in such a way where you lose less and you gain more. How you are going to structure the trade is a different scenario. I am very poor in predicting, so I'm not predicting. But let's say if someone is trying to say that it is going to show a bounce back, okay, if a bounce back comes, already walls are very low, and you will see further crash in walls. So it makes sense to go for ratio, buying at the money call and selling 2 times, 3 times out of the money call, that kind of thing. If you think that the downward trend will continue and we'll see a gap down or a follow through, then IV or VIX is going to expand. It's going to explode like anything. It's better to buy a at the money put or buy a put spread. So as I have said in the hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Anand.
So as I have said in the beginning, that to me it looks like that the way Europe was behaving and the way market has reacted to NFP data as well, to me it looks like a mild gap down with a follow through. So I have positioned myself in that manner, and such situations are never easy to trade. So if anybody is listening and trying to understand what should be done in such a scenario, don't sell naked put, and or for that matter naked call. Don't go for bravery, or trying to find where the bottom will be, because if you are an option seller, the thing is, whenever you lose, you have to lose far less. If you from far for last 5 years, if you eliminate your 5-10 big losses, your P&L will look entirely different. So the real edge or real skill is identifying where the big losses can happen. For example, 2005 election day, or the entire corona crisis, or such days are event driven. It can go anywhere. If today then that bank declares bankruptcy, and I think another two banks are already down some 60-65%. If
Correct.
it's called contagion, if that happens, and it cannot be read in the chart, because 3 days back nobody knew, right? At least in the price of that bank stock, SVP. So if contagion spreads, and if people fear that more banks are going to follow suit, then in that case it can open 2% down, 3% down. So either don't take any position overnight if you are a hardcore seller. If you believe in spreads or ratios or even option buying, look at those things, and definitely trim down your positions. So various ways to play it, but one has to be very careful about not looking at risk reward, which was there for last 1 year or more than 1 year, and now the risk on the downside has definitely increased, which Indian walls or Indian option premium is still not reflecting.
Pankaj,
Thanks, Anand bhai.
can I ask
One,
one question? Have you seen the VIX, SP VIX recently, like today? It was shooting up like anything. And although the Dow was inching up higher, but still the VIX is like shooting up like anything. I don't understand what is the reason. I mean, it's like it's blowing my mind today. I don't know what is happening in Dow. Can you lighten a bit?
Simple. People are hedging their tail risk, and that is a far more liquid market, far more connected market. You're talking about US VIX, right?
Yes, S&P week, yes.
So it's like it's I don't know how to give you an analogy. It's like you are living in villages, and you see that there is going to be a power failure or something, and people are buying inverters and generators, and people are like buying low cost light bulbs left, right, and center, and you don't know, because you are not that connected. To give you an example, our stock options are extremely illiquid in the next month or third month or fourth month, right? We tried launching VIX futures, it failed. In US VIX futures or interest rate futures or credit default swaps or individual companies, that whether the company will default or not, there is an option for that as well. Option as in right to sell, right to buy kind of instrument. That is heavily traded and it is liquid for many months. So you अभी से लेके एक साल बाद का भी JP Morgan का CDS is traded. You can look at Bloomberg. You can trade if you are in US or in developed market. So there everything is connected. So people are hedging their bets. How it is very important for them to, let's say somebody is invested in those bank stocks. If they liquidate in panic, first of all, they will not get a very good feel. They will not get a very good price. Okay, in this panic, but they want to hedge their bets. What if the bank goes bankrupt? Okay, so they can buy those CDS or they can buy far out of the money put options, and then those put options are not working in isolation. There are algos immediately hedging the delta and various other levels of Greeks in the same market, in the same instrument, and in cross instruments as well. Okay, in other markets as well. So that market is so connected, so liquid, and has so much of depth. So everybody is in one way or other is hedging the downside. Here, most of the even mutual funds or even other larger financial institutions, they have not seen that kind of meltdown in last 30 years, and people, and I'm talking about large players, they don't buy so much of hedge. How will you, let's say if you are a mutual fund having a 5,000 crore ka, long only portfolio, and let's say you are a fund manager and now you know that bank nifty is going to correct 10% because contagion is going to be there, every bank is going to be affected, and a lot of Indian banks are holding foreign bonds, and those bonds are going to be illiquid or they're going to be defunct, so what will you do as a fund manager? You can't go and buy put options because there is no depth in the market. You will be the only buyer. There will not be any seller. I'm talking about far out of the money, right? Maybe you think that, not this week, not this month, but in April or May or July, there might be a contagion and market might take a sharp nosedive. In India, you can't hedge it. That kind of market is not there. So you don't see heat building up at the tail. In US, you already see that. Whenever such an event happened, whether event क्या मतलब if अगर थोड़ी गर्मी भी बढ़ती है, so people start hedging the tail risk. Here the mechanism is not there, the market is not there because of various reasons like STT, short-term capital gains tax. Then if you make money on your options, it will be taxed separately on FNO side, and the how much you can hedge for a mutual fund or a DIA, that is also highly restricted, and so on. So India is a very highly primitive. It's like a village, and I'm not demeaning India. It has its own merits or demerits. So let's not get into that domain. But I'm saying it's a very primitive market in terms of liquidity, in terms of depth, in terms of counterparty risk. There, the markets are very connected, very deep, and it has its own repercussions as well. So that's why you see last time also, just before this, US VIX shot up to 2025 and we were hovering around 13, 14 at all times. Okay. So that might explain because today 3 banks are down and commentary is also not good. I was listening to Bloomberg spaces on this bank crisis only. There are a lot of venture capitalists were also there, and they're ruthless money managers. They will be taking out their deposit. 150 billion is not a small amount. And so people are hedging their tail risk, and that's why the US VIX is high. Yeah.
That was excellently put on, Anand, especially the part where you were explaining about
Thank you. Thank you.
these kinds of trades are majorly news driven trades uh, where things can go in your favor really is soon, or they can go south real fast. So the key now and always has been execution, if you ask me, trading. And जो आनंद भाई आप point बोल रहे थे, how quickly the market touches a low of a day in case of a gap down. This is something I personally monitor as well, but I take position always when there is an upside spike. जब भी मार्केट एक गैप डाउन में ओपन होता है, द मोमेंट आई सी अ फर्स्ट स्पाइक टू द अपसाइड, आई एंटर अ पोजीशन टुवर्ड्स द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द ट्रेंड बेसिकली. So there are one two nitty gritty pointers like this जो हम सिर्फ बोल सकते हैं, बट इन डेप्थ एक्सप्लेन करके किसी को सिखा नहीं सकते हैं, बिकॉज being discretionary traders, these things we have built in our own minds certain perception and process to follow over the years. And someone who wants to do something on the similar lines has to go through the rite of passage, those years of trading basically, and there is no other option apart from that. We'll take one last question from Shailesh and then we'll pack up since it's already more than an hour.
Just one last thing I wanted to add was that if you have to take away only one thing from such news-driven crises, position yourself in such a way that you don't lose big. Like it outcome can be like 2% gap up to 3% gap down, any kind of. So position yourself even in intraday or in this thing that you don't lose big. Don't try to earn big, but don't lose big in such a, because there will be a lot of boring days, lot of trending days, lot of predictable days where you will be able to make money if you survive. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely. And those boring days are what usually pulls in a trader to take stupid unnecessary risks, and then welcomes with the kind of day we saw today. Shailesh, please go ahead. Someone else was also raising their hand. No, I don't think. All right, then if we don't have any further questions, then we'll wrap it up here. Any closing comments, Divyansh?
I mean, this space was really insightful. So thanks to all the speakers, Anand Bhai, Katie, thanks a lot.
See, if Anand Bhai is there in a spaces, then definitely we'll get to take away
Of
something.
course.
That's my personal feedback from attending his old spaces where he used to host spaces. I think 2 to 3 times a week. I can say that.
I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Anand bhai, what are the tips you would like to give to newcomers? Because I hope there will be many over here. And
Unlike us, Katie has a very strict fitness regime. Very few people know that he has a all-weather six-pack. When do you get up, Katie?
I not all weather six pack. This part is quite debatable. I get up around 6 to 6:30 in the morning.
And then what do you do after that?
Then I go to the gym. If I sleep late in the evening, then I go to the gym in the evening. But at least I try to go 4 to 5 times a week for sure.
And you do strength training.
Sorry, yeah, strength training.
You do
always strength training. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how many years?
On and off, I started first going to the gym when I was 14 years.
14 years ago, or you were 14 at that point?
I was 14 at that time. On and off. I'm not like a professional fitness freak or anything, but I was rather very much interested क्योंकि मेरे peers एक दो लोग थे classmates who were older to me and who already were very fit and muscular, तो उनको देख के I got inspired and went, and that is how I started. And even I was very scrawny at that time. I was told that by the trainer that you're too small to start training right now. You do 10 push-ups non-stop. I'll give you 1 month's time. You do 10 push-ups non-stop, and then I will get you into the gym. 2 days before the deadline, I managed to do 10 push-ups.
And how many push-ups you do now?
I do easily 40 to 50 push-ups at one time.
Oh my god. Oh shit. Okay. And how many pull-ups?
Pull-ups 17 to 18.
17 to 18 pull-ups.
Yes.
My god. That's like, I don't know. One or two people I know can do that actually.
Push-ups is actually not honestly not that difficult, but pull-ups का क्या है ना, even if I had to have to take a break from working out, let's say for 1 week or 2 weeks, वो rhythm चले जाता है. That 17-18 count again comes back to 12-13. It again takes a couple of weeks to pick up from there.
Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of youngsters are there in the spaces. So what is the advice you will give them? Like if they start early, just like people say, na, start investing early. So if they start investing time and energy in their body and soul early, will they have luck when it comes to female companionship or other aspects of life, confidence, etc.
Confidence part, definitely yes, a big yes. And when it comes to female companionship, then being fit is one of the factors. That is it, but it is not the ultimate factor there.
So what are the
Like
other factors? Other two
like
factors?
like the way a guy talks. That is a very important. One of the most important things. The way a guy talks, and overall grooming is also very important. Overall grooming, the way someone talks, their personality basically, and fitness to an extent. Again, fitness part, even if someone is slightly out of the shape, I would say that is totally fine depending on what the age of the person is. But the talking part, that is something I feel if someone is out there looking to meet someone or have a partner, that is something they need to definitely focus on.
I slightly disagree on the age part because now I'm 42, and since I was 20-year-old, my one of my goals is to have a six pack or to have a shredded body. I could never have it, but I have not given up either. And I started following a lot of people on Twitter who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they have six pack or very well defined abs and quads and all that. So let's see how I go about it. And I tried for many times, and I stumbled, and I had a lot of issues, but I've not given up yet. And yeah, I agree that our how we talk to somebody is extremely important, and that says a lot about our confidence and how we look at the world and so on. So that's nice. So that's all from my side, guys, and I thoroughly enjoyed listening to everyone. And yeah,
But then thank you all. Thank you Anand bhai, Divyansh and others as well. Have a good weekend. पोजीशंस है तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते मंडे तक, नए है तो भी नया पोजीशन नहीं बना सकते मंडे तक. सो एंजॉय द वीकेंड एंड हैव फन.
bye bye.
बाय
Good
बाय.
night, everyone.
Bye. Good night.